Y'all, the internet is on fire right now because new reports are claiming something absolutely wild about Jackie and Evelyn. Word on the street is, these two queens, who've had their fair share of drama in the past, might have been connected to the same man. And apparently, the same secret is what's shaking up everyone in their circle right now. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear. We're not saying any of this is confirmed. These are just the rumors and the tea that's been flooding social media. But if even half of what's being whispered online is true, then this could be one of the biggest shockers in reality TV history. Fans are already connecting dots, posting receipts, and even bringing up old interviews that suddenly seem to make a lot more sense. What started as a few cryptic posts has now turned into a full-blown explosive situation. So grab your popcorn, because we're breaking down how Jackie and Evelyn's worlds collided. Through one man, one secret, and a whole lot of betrayal. It all started so quietly, like a whisper that nobody took seriously at first. A few curious fans noticed something strange on social media, a cryptic post on Evelyn's story that simply said, "Some people play innocent until the truth finds them." No tags, no emojis, no names, but the timing? Way too suspicious to ignore, because just hours earlier, Jackie had posted a photo with a mysterious caption of her own. "Loyalty isn't a trend. It's a lifestyle." And boom, that was all it took for the internet to light up. At first, fans brushed it off as coincidence. But within a few hours, Twitter threads started popping up with people saying, "Wait a minute, are Jackie and Evelyn talking about each other?" And then came the screenshots, the receipts, and the speculation storm that neither of them could stop. Comment sections started flooding with thousands of comments like, "They're definitely subtweeting each other again. Something's going down behind the scenes, and it's juicy. These two are too grown for this, but I'm still watching." It was classic reality TV energy, except this time, it was all happening off camera. A few fan accounts claimed they'd found the connection. They dug up old paparazzi pictures, interviews, and even background details from a few seasons ago. And that's when one name started coming up again and again. A man both Jackie and Evelyn were reportedly linked to at very different points in time. Now, let's be clear, none of this is confirmed. These are just the online theories that fans have pieced together. But according to those fan threads, the man, let's just call him Marcus for now, wasn't just a random fling. He was someone both women had worked with. Someone who had access to both their professional and personal lives. A consultant, advisor, friend of the show, depending on which version of the story you believe. What makes it wild is that fans noticed Marcus had been tagging both Evelyn and Jackie in old motivational posts. Things like, "Real women uplift each other, not compete." And now, months later, those same posts look like pure irony. Then came the throwback clip that shook everyone. A fan dug up an old interview Jackie did almost 2 years ago, where she was asked about trust issues in her circle. Her response? "I've seen people smile in my face while trying to build with the same people I was loyal to." But karma. Karma always comes around. At the time, it didn't seem directed at anyone specific. But now, fans started connecting that moment to Evelyn, especially after noticing Evelyn had liked and then unliked that same interview clip when it resurfaced last week. Fans were screaming in the comments, "She liked it by accident, she's guilty. No, she's just trolling. Y'all are reading too much into this, but also..." And just like that, the story took on a life of its own. When rumors turn into silence, that's when you know something real is happening behind the scenes. For days, both Jackie and Evelyn avoided addressing the situation, but their energy online was anything but quiet. Every post, every no comment, every carefully worded caption seemed to carry a hidden message. Fans were reading between the lines, and it felt like both women were preparing for something big. Then came the turning point. According to sources close to the situation, and again, we're only talking about what's being reported online, Jackie and Evelyn allegedly had a private meeting. Some say it was supposed to be a calm conversation. Others say it turned into one of the most heated arguments anyone had ever seen between them. The story goes that Evelyn wanted to clear the air, to make sure that what was spreading online didn't destroy what was left of their fragile friendship. But Jackie apparently came in with screenshots, receipts, and questions that had been building up for weeks. Witnesses, or rather, people claiming to have been nearby, said that voices were raised, Doors were slammed, and at one point, Evelyn was heard saying, "You think I wanted any of this? You think I didn't find out the same way you did?" Jackie reportedly shot back, "You knew exactly what you were doing, Evelyn. Don't play innocent now." Now, whether that exchange actually happened or not, we can't say for sure, but that's the version that's been dominating every gossip page and fan forum for days. People are convinced that this confrontation wasn't just about a man. It was about trust, betrayal, and pride. Because when you've built a brand on loyalty, and your closest ally becomes your biggest question mark, the emotional hit cuts deep. Allegedly, during that meeting, Jackie brought up specific dates, times when Evelyn had been out of town but still communicating with the same man Jackie had been linked to. She accused Evelyn of hiding it. Evelyn reportedly responded by saying she hadn't realized the overlap until it was too late, that she'd been manipulated just like Jackie. According to those who claim to know, Evelyn said, "He told me you two were done. He made me believe there was nothing there." Jackie's response? "There's always something there when it's real." And that line, "when it's real," is what fans have clung to. Because it didn't sound like she was talking about just romance. It sounded like she was talking about their friendship. The kind of friendship that gets built on cameras and tested off them. After that alleged confrontation, things got tense online. Evelyn posted a black screen with the words, "Sometimes, silence speaks louder than truth." Jackie responded a few hours later with a quote that read, "Never apologize for seeing through fake energy." Fans went wild. Every shade-throwing emoji, every cryptic hashtag, people analyzed it like detectives working a high-profile case. Podcasts started covering the story, with hosts debating who was really at fault. One gossip host said, "This isn't just about love, this is about ego. These women have history, and when you mix business, friendship, and emotion, it's a ticking time bomb." Meanwhile, reports began circulating that the confrontation didn't end that night. A few insiders claimed that production teams had reached out, hoping to capture a reconciliation, or at least get them on camera to tell their sides. But both women reportedly refused, at least for now. It wasn't about publicity anymore. This felt personal. Days later, Evelyn broke her silence in an emotional live stream. She didn't name names, but she spoke with that heavy, trembling voice that tells you something's been sitting on her chest for too long. "When people you love make choices that hurt you," she said, "sometimes you stop asking why and start asking how to move on." It wasn't explosive. It wasn't dramatic. But it was raw. And for fans who had been following the chaos, it sounded like heartbreak disguised as wisdom. Jackie didn't respond directly, but hours after that live stream ended, she posted an old photo, the two of them laughing together, years ago. The caption was simple, "Good memories. Tough lessons." That post broke the internet. Some saw it as a peace offering. Others thought it was shade disguised as nostalgia. And somewhere in between, people started realizing there was more to the story, something neither of them was saying out loud. That's when another rumor hit. A gossip blog claimed that the man at the center of all this, Marcus, had allegedly been using both women for connections. The post said he'd been pitching business ideas, playing both sides, and manipulating emotions to get what he wanted. Supposedly, he promised Evelyn a brand collaboration and Jackie an investment deal, all while pretending to be loyal to each of them. It was a classic divide and conquer situation, and when the truth started leaking, he disappeared. If that part of the story is true, then both Jackie and Evelyn were victims of the same game. And that's what made this confrontation so painful. It wasn't just betrayal from each other, but from someone they both trusted. As the days passed, people close to the two women hinted that there might still be hope for reconciliation. A mutual friend reportedly said, "They've said worse things to each other before." The difference this time is that there's hurt behind the anger. As the days passed, people close to the two women hinted that there might still be hope for reconciliation. A mutual friend reportedly said, "They've said worse things to each other before." The difference this time is that there's hurt behind the anger. Still, the online drama didn't stop. Every few hours, new sources popped up claiming to have inside details. A recording here, a text message there. But the truth was still foggy, and both women were clearly navigating the emotional wreckage in their own ways. Jackie started sharing motivational posts about healing and self-worth. Evelyn leaned into spirituality, posting about forgiveness and protecting peace. But you could tell from their eyes, in public appearances, in photos, even in the way they smiled, that the pain hadn't faded. These were two women who'd built careers on resilience, but right now, both looked tired. By the end of the week, fans noticed something subtle. Neither had unfollowed Marcus. The man at the center of the storm still followed them both, quietly, almost mockingly. That detail reignited the fire. Commenters demanded answers. Why is he still in their circle? If they're really done with him, why keep the connection? Some speculated it was about business ties. Others thought it was emotional attachment. Whatever the reason, it was clear the story wasn't over. The confrontation had brought everything to the surface: the betrayal, the confusion, the unspoken history. But it hadn't resolved it. And while fans were debating who to believe, both women seemed to be retreating, guarding whatever truth they were holding onto. Still, one thing was obvious. The bond between Jackie and Evelyn had been fractured in a way that might never fully heal. And yet, deep down, there was still a strange kind of silence, the kind that feels like unfinished business. Because when emotions cool and egos fade, sometimes what's left behind is realization. And as dramatic as this confrontation was, it wasn't the end of their story. It was the middle of it, the moment when truth started to shine through the chaos. But the full picture still hadn't been revealed. Little did anyone know, the biggest twist was yet to come. If the confrontation was the earthquake, then what came next was the aftershock, and it was massive. The entire internet seemed to have something to say about Jackie and Evelyn's situation. Every blog, every reaction channel, every fan page was dissecting every single post, every silence, and every quote like it was part of a true crime investigation. At this point, neither of them had confirmed a single detail, yet somehow everyone felt like they knew the story. Fans divided into two camps, Team Jackie and Team Evelyn. Hashtags started trending, Iker stand with Jackie and justice for Evelyn. And what started as gossip had now turned into a cultural moment. People weren't just watching, they were participating in the chaos. Jackie's supporters claimed she was the real victim, saying she'd been loyal for years only to be blindsided by someone she considered a friend. Evelyn's fans, on the other hand, argued that she had been manipulated too, that she was being unfairly painted as the villain when she was just as hurt. The debates got heated. Long threads formed on Reddit and X, with users analyzing tone, body language, and even old photos. Some fans were posting side-by-side comparisons of outfits, jewelry, and captions, trying to prove who copied who first. Meanwhile, friends and family were dragged into it, willingly or not. Evelyn's daughter liked a comment defending her mom, and that single like became headline material. Jackie's cousin posted a cryptic Instagram story saying, "Loyalty doesn't mean staying silent when you've been disrespected." Within minutes, screenshots circulated everywhere, sparking new waves of speculation. And then came the leaked texts. Out of nowhere, a blog known for its exclusive insider tea published what it claimed were messages exchanged between Jackie and an unnamed friend, allegedly talking about Evelyn. The texts hinted that Jackie had known about Marcus's involvement for longer than she let on, and that she was waiting for the right time to confront Evelyn. Whether those texts were real or not, nobody could say, but that didn't stop the internet from exploding. Commentators called it one of the messiest reality TV adjacent scandals of the year. YouTubers made hour-long breakdowns titled things like Jackie's betrayal timeline and why Evelyn might walk away for good. Even mainstream outlets picked up the story, framing it as a lesson in friendship, fame, and blurred boundaries. But the fallout wasn't just online. Behind closed doors, the emotional toll was showing. People close to Evelyn said she'd been keeping to herself, focusing on family, and turning down public appearances. A source told one blog, "She's tired. She feels like no matter what she says, people twist it." Jackie, on the other hand, was reportedly channeling her energy into work, business meetings, projects, anything to distract her from the constant buzz. Still, there were cracks showing in both facades. Jackie was spotted wiping tears during a charity event. Evelyn posted a story that read, "You can't pour from an empty cup." And fans could feel it. Beneath all the glam and PR smiles, two women were breaking down in real time. The reactions from other reality TV stars only made things wilder. One of their former co-stars jumped in during an Instagram live saying, "I've seen both sides of them. Neither's an angel." That statement alone added fuel to the fire, turning the situation into a full-blown spectacle. Every word, every reaction was screenshot and shared across multiple pages within seconds. By now, even Marcus, the man in the middle of it all, couldn't hide from the storm. His name was trending, his old posts flooded with snake emojis, and every woman he'd ever interacted with was suddenly being investigated by fans. He turned off comments and vanished from social media, but that only made people more suspicious. "If you've got nothing to hide, why disappear?" fans asked. Meanwhile, rumors began circulating that he had reached out privately to both women to clear his name. One source claimed he even tried to apologize, but neither responded. If that's true, then it means both Jackie and Evelyn were finally realizing that they had been played by the same person. And maybe, just maybe, they were starting to see each other not as enemies, but as victims of the same manipulation. Still, the damage was done. The trust between them was shattered. They weren't just dealing with betrayal from a man. They were dealing with betrayal from someone who knew their history, who knew how deep their friendship had once been, and who used that to his advantage. And while the internet was busy choosing sides, both women were being forced to live through the fallout of a very public, very painful unraveling. Some fans called for compassion, saying things like, "We don't know what really happened, so maybe stop attacking them." Others doubled down, insisting that Evelyn owes Jackie an apology, or Jackie's milking the drama for clout. It got so intense that one entertainment blog announced both women had been offered a chance to sit down for a televised reunion special, a chance to address the rumors face-to-face. No confirmation yet, but if true, it could be the dramatic moment everyone's been waiting for. As all this unfolded, something unexpected happened. A clip resurfaced from years ago, an old interview where both Jackie and Evelyn laughed about how men can never come between real friends. The clip went viral again, but this time it hit differently. Fans filled the comments with sadness instead of laughter. "Crazy how that aged," one user wrote. "They really meant it back then," another added. It was like watching history replay itself in reverse. Two women who had built something together, now torn apart by whispers, assumptions, and maybe a little truth. By the third week of this chaos, exhaustion started setting in. The same pages that had fueled the gossip began posting quotes about mental health, urging fans to let them heal. Even the most die-hard followers started to wonder if maybe they'd all gone too far. But the internet doesn't sleep. Just when people began to move on, another twist surfaced. A voice message leaked, this time allegedly from Marcus himself, where he could be heard saying, "They'll never believe I didn't plan it that way." No confirmation on its authenticity, but that one line reignited everything. Some believed it was fake. Others swore it sounded just like him. Suddenly, the narrative flipped again. Fans started seeing Jackie and Evelyn as two women caught in the web of a manipulator. Not rivals, but victims of deceit. It was a moment of collective realization. Maybe neither was truly at fault. Maybe the real villain was the one who set the whole thing in motion. And yet, despite this newfound sympathy, one question still lingered. If both women had been wronged, could they ever truly forgive each other? Could they move past the damage, or had the fallout gone too far to repair? Because while the fans had moved on to the next viral scandal for Jackie and Evelyn, the wounds were still open. The friendship, the trust, the connection, all burned under the spotlight of public opinion. And just when it seemed like the dust was finally beginning to settle, one more secret was about to surface. Something deeper than anyone expected. The same man. The same story, but this time the secret wasn't about love. It was about betrayal that ran much deeper than either of them could have imagined. And that's where things stand right now, Jackie and Evelyn, two powerful women whose friendship once felt unbreakable, now caught in a storm of rumors, heartbreak, and questions that still don't have clear answers. What started as whispers online spiraled into one of the most talked about reality-adjacent scandals of the year. At this point, nobody knows the full truth. Was it all just a misunderstanding fueled by social media chaos? Or was there really one man, and one secret, that tore everything apart behind the scenes? Fans are still divided. Some say they'll never trust Evelyn again. Others believe Jackie was set up to look like the villain. And then there are those who think both of them were simply pawns in someone else's twisted game. But one thing's for sure. The emotional toll is real. You can hear it in their silence. You can see it in their eyes during public appearances. No matter how strong you are, when loyalty turns into headlines, healing takes time. Now the big question is, what happens next? Will Jackie and Evelyn ever sit down and tell their side of the story? Could we see them reunite in front of cameras, or has too much been said and done to go back? We'll be keeping a close eye on how this unfolds, because if the rumors are even half true, this saga is far from over. So what do you think really went down between Jackie, Evelyn, and this mysterious man? Do you think they'll ever repair the friendship? Or is this the final chapter? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because we want to hear from you. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next update on this ongoing reality TV storm. Until next time, stay tuned, stay curious, and remember, in the world of fame, nothing stays secret for long.